Hello, Laoshi Lawrence McElroy here. Once again, here with the final installment in this short pre-recorded series addressing the 5 root goals of Tai Chi. Regulating the body, regulating the breath, regulating the mind, regulating the Qi, and regulating the spirit. This installment is the 5th, regulating the spirit. Tyau Shen. So, it's important to recognize that when we talk about spirituality here, we're not talking about something from a religious perspective. We view spirituality as cultivating high morale and deep morality. High morale and deep morality are rooted in manifesting a strong will, deep patience, and great endurance. Spirit helps us to perceive the existence of a challenge, to not only understand the challenge itself, but also understand what lies on the other side of the challenge, and also cultivating the ability to rise and meet that challenge. In other words, it gives us a way to find our place within the greater world around us, how we enter into it, how we interact with others, etc. As a personal example of what this might mean, I'm going to share something that happened to me very early in my journey with Tai Chi in the early days back at Black Dragon School. Now, it's important to realize that at that time in my life, I had entered into this particular program because in the late 80s and early 90s, Tai Chi was being recognized as an alternative approach to teaching movement for the actor. And I wanted something on my resume. I was in the room primarily to learn the form. Well, one evening, Mesmer Sifu put me with a senior student to work on the basic martial application of the posture parting the wild horse's mane. Now, I wasn't really interested in doing that. I wanted to learn the form, but I followed his instruction. Now, our parting the wild horse's mane, sort of the pre-posture moment or the transition into it, is a form the ball, hold the ball moment. The hand at the top of the ball is a palm block that takes the incoming punch and redirects it down into the side. And the other hand rises up in the space left above the arm to strike, press, throw by coming into contact with the opponent's torso. So I was doing the drill, not really enthused. It's like, okay, here comes the punch. I take it and put it down there and I strike up and here comes the punch. And in my mind, began to shift its perception. And it's like, instead of the punch, it's like, here comes this energy. And I'm not struggling with the energy. I'm not fighting this energy that's coming toward me. I'm blending with it, redirecting it, and finding a pathway through it. Here's a problem coming toward me. Before I share that moment, although I wasn't terribly young at the time, I was still an angry, relatively young artist. And anytime I had a challenge, anytime I met a problem, it was head on. And it was like beating my head against a wall to find a way to overcome that problem, that challenge. But here was this problem, this punch coming toward me. Instead of fighting it, instead of struggling against it, blending with it, taking it to the side, and finding a pathway forward. It was an epiphany for me. It changed a lot about how I entered the world and interacted with others. And I am grateful for that particular moment. I believe that it's important in this aspect, in regulation of the spirit, that we seek to understand the philosophy, not religion, philosophy upon which Tai Chi is based. And that would be Taoism. So I have a couple of book recommendations for you. The first really opened my eyes to exactly what the Tao Te Ching was about. I'd read the Tao Te Ching a few times and was struggling with it. But the first time through Wen Zhu, Understanding the Mysteries, the Further Teachings of Lao Tzu, it became much clearer. Still working to completely understand it, but it became much clearer. And believe it or not, the other book that I found the most helpful in understanding the philosophy of Taoism is Benjamin Hoff's The Tao of Pooh. So there you have it, in a nutshell. The fifth and final of the 5 root goals of Tai Chi, regulating the spirit. So we've had regulating the body, regulating the breath, regulating the mind, regulating the chi, and regulating the spirit. I hope you found this series not only informative, but also helpful. I do not have a formal schedule right now for posting pre-recorded videos on other topics moving forward. But as we find our pathway through the current COVID-19 crisis, I will continue to post videos in other aspects of our Tai Chi, our Qigong, and related topics. So wash your hands, take care, stay safe, and we'll talk to you again in the somewhat near future.